I feel like I've been seeing a lot of the same thing lately that everyone's been talking about, or at least maybe that I've just picked up on. But that is that the car scene is dying. You know, a lot of people, they go to these car meets and they're like, wow, I remember when this used to be full, this used to be packed, and now, you know, you're seeing open spots. It's not as busy, not a lot of people, or the crowd isn't exactly there. And even when I'm on social media and I'm scrolling through the comments and looking at other people's like events from out of state or something, even them themselves are saying like, yeah, you know, this isn't what it once was or anything like that. So even social media is saying something about this as well. And here's the thing, I don't think necessarily that the car scene is exactly dying. I think it's more along changing, and you know, it's going a route that a lot of people aren't really liking, especially the people that have been in it for quite some time now. And you know, the route isn't really the direction they want to go, and they want to go the old school way of doing things. And so in this video, I kind of want to go over basically what's happening in the car scene. You know, why is it changing? You know, what's causing these changes? And basically overall the basis of like why people think the car scene's dying when exactly it's more along changing. And honestly, in my opinion, I don't think it's changing for the better. I think it's changing for the worse. The car scene probably a couple years ago, honestly, was an absolutely amazing thing to go to. You know, when you went to a car meet or anything like that, you would see all sorts of different things, from slam trucks, lifted trucks, anything cammed pretty much, turboed Hondas. The list goes on and on. Absolutely insane and crazy builds that people took time and effort into making with these things. And a lot of the time when people went to these meets, they were going out, getting out of their car, walking around, talking with other people, other car enthusiasts, you know, bouncing ideas off of one another, talking about, yo, why'd you do this? What was the whole initial goal and everything like that? And here's the thing, even nowadays, or back then, a lot of people didn't have a lot of money into those cars, but yet they still looked absolutely amazing, or there's something just really cool or unique about it for pennies on the dollar. And with that, it kind of felt like a family or a community or a group of people just getting together, bouncing ideas off of one another, you know, and overall giving good advice. And it didn't feel like you were being bashed for anything that you were doing wrong or anything like that. But here's the problem. Social media, I feel like, is the biggest issue with the whole car scene, honestly and truly. You got platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. I don't know if Twitter and Facebook's really big up on the list or anything like that, but I feel like the top three is Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. I feel like those big three personally changed the whole atmosphere of the car scene. You know, people used to build their cars for themselves, for fun, overall the creativity or performance wise. But nowadays people are just building it overall for content purposes, and that is strictly it, to, you know, get clicks, to get views, to get, you know, fame for maybe 5-10 minutes. They're not building it for themselves anymore, they're building it for other people. They'll change the whole entire look of their car over one comment saying, oh, I think that's disgusting looking. And overall, you know, social media changed the overall quality of the cars. You know, people would, you know, spend months and months and maybe even years building a car, and instead now they'll slap some shit on it and then call it done for the day, post it up on social media, and sure enough, there they are getting tons of followers, likes, views. And again, they didn't build it for themselves, because then when it's not getting those views or anything like that, instantly it's on Facebook Marketplace for sale because it's not getting the attention that they wanted. Again, people aren't going out of their way anymore to build quality or to build it for themselves. Overall, it's just them building it for clout. And again, social media has pretty much ruined the way the car scene is, at least in some way, shape, or form. Now, with social media also comes the way that people look at our cars. You know, everybody's on social media nowadays. I don't think there's any generation that isn't on social media. I mean, kids are being raised by social media nowadays, right? And with all these clips and stuff going viral, it's based on how the public views us as a whole. Whether, you know, and it depends on what goes viral too. See, you got street takeovers and reckless driving. A lot of the times now you're seeing the takeovers where they basically get in this giant, you know, 4-lane, take over the whole entire place, do donuts in it, smashing into other cars, the whole 9 yards. And not only do you have the takeovers, but then you have the reckless drivers where you have like Squeeze Benz or whatever that guy's name is, where they're going in and out of traffic like it's no tomorrow. And then sure enough, they smack into a family of 4, and then all of a sudden it's all over the news, and it makes us look bad as a whole. And so yeah, it makes us look all bad, you know. And noted, only that small group is doing that. But at the big end of the day, when the news gets a hold of that and they see that stuff, everybody starts, you know, having an opinion about it. And it's like, why are these car enthusiasts doing it? When it's in reality, it's not all of us as a whole. It's the small little group doing it that thinks it's the most coolest and hip thing, when in reality, it's just destroying everything. And then when it goes public on the news, then you're getting the higher ups, all the government officials and everything, cracking down on the laws about stuff, being like, hey, you know, we're going to have to start, you know, doing all of this, changing the way everything is. So even with a small car meet that's just a park and chill, they now see it as a threat. Gatlinburg is a prime example of that. Now noted at the very end of Gatlinburg, that was a mess. That was basically a takeover pretty much at the end. It was a riot. And did not make us look good. That is a prime example. But a lot of the times when we were at Gatlinburg, for example, cookout, we were doing a park and chill. And sure enough, the cops would come in and kick us all out. And noted, we weren't doing anything wrong. But in their eyes, they don't want anything to happen, or they don't want anything that's going to physically happen at that car meet. Noted, all it takes is one person to ruin everything. We all know that. It's a kind of life lesson. And so yeah, it sucks that we get lumped in with these absolute fools, clowns, whatever you'd like to call them. It sucks because we get lumped in now, and now we all look bad as a whole, even though it's a small percentage that's doing it. And overall, again, the only reason they're doing it is for clicks and views. They're hoping that that small little bit goes famous. Again, with the people weaving in and out of traffic, always all over social media. It's always, every single post gets blown up. It can get reposted 8 times. Every single post that's been reposted 8 times always has hundreds of thousands of views on it, and it's crazy. It's no different than the takeovers. The minute somebody gets slapped or hit by a car, boom, it's viral. It's a banging of a clip. And for some odd reason, noted, it is fun to watch those, but again, I get the private meets that do takeovers. Nothing wrong with those. They're more safer than the public meets. The public meets, though, absolute fools. Now with this, I would like to say that the cars themselves are changing. And when I say changing, I wouldn't say like the newer stuff. Now they are going to an electronic look, you know, everything's got to be like a hybrid or something like that. And I get that. But when I say cars are changing, I'm talking around the pricing. The pricing of cars is ridiculous. You could get into the car scene. You know, you could go buy a Lexus IS300 or, you know, a 240SX back then for pennies. Literally pennies. A Fox body Mustang you could go pick up. These are prime examples, by the way. And sure enough, within the last 3 years, prices have skyrocketed. Even the Skylines are ridiculously overpriced. Supras, overpriced. They're just a bunch of junk metal, in my opinion. My Skyline, I feel like that price of that car has went up through the roof. I paid, you know, $3,000 5 years ago. Now, you can't even touch one for under $15,000. No different than 240SXs. Those people are absolutely insane and kind of ruining the car market because it's crazy. You know, you could always see those things beat up, smashed up, missing panels. It looks like an absolute rainbow. A unicorn threw up all over the damn thing. And they'd be asking $7 grand. Doesn't run or drive, has no wheels. It's just a shell. And I'm just like, $7 grand? Come on now. Or IS300s, again, used to be $1,000, $2,000 car. Now people are wanting $5,000 to $6,000. I don't know what people are smoking nowadays, but you can't get into the car scene anymore because it's overpriced, in my opinion. No different than Fox bodies. Rollers are selling for $5K, which is insane to me. I remember when growing up, those Fox bodies, you couldn't give them away. You truly couldn't. But now people are selling them for $5K as a roller. Insane. So yeah, it's hard to get into the car scene. As a younger generation, it's harder to get into the car scene, and you kind of have to go lease or, you know, finance a car, and you can't modify that car because technically you don't really own it, your bank owns it. or you can't afford to go out and go buy those parts because you dropped all your money on a car. So yeah, it sucks because getting in the car scene now is overall expensive. And here's the thing, I don't think the car scene's necessarily dead. I do believe it is changing. I don't think it's for the better. There is still people out there building absolutely amazing cars, and they're building it for themselves, for the next generation too. They're not just overall building it for content. You know, you got a lot of creativity still out there. It's hard to come by, yes, but it's still out there, and those people are the ones that we should be boosting up instead of, you know, boosting up the people doing takeovers or rev bombing their cars. You know, we shouldn't be boosting up those people or making them go viral. We should boost up or make the people that are putting in the effort and the creativity and make them go viral. But yeah, I don't think truly that the car scene is exactly dying. I think it's just going through a really big shift. I do feel like social media and the takeovers and the people, you know, driving recklessly, though, that has been an absolute like killer for all of us. And honestly, it's probably the worst thing about it, and making us all look bad as a whole. But I am honestly curious as to what the future does hold for the car scene, because, you know, again, we got the government cracking down on everything. You know, slammed enough Gatlinburg's no longer a thing. It literally turned into H2O, which is a sad thing. I've been going there for at least 4 or 5 years now, and again, it's just one thing happens. All it takes is one person or one bad thing, and it shuts everything bad and makes us all look bad as a whole. But I am truly curious what the car scene has. You know, is it just going to be a bunch of viral clips and chaos? You know, is that really truly the way that the car scene's going? Is that the direction it's going? More than likely, yes. It's all going to be for clout, sadly. I don't think you'll see too many crazy builds anymore. I do try, when I go to Cars and Coffee though, I do try to feature the crazy and insane stuff as much as possible. But yeah, it sucks because it's harder to get into the car scene. And then when you do get in the car scene, it's harder to modify your car and get it to that quality that you want it to, because you have to work through life as well. You can't put all your money into a car. And then you got other people that are just doing it for clout, for views, clicks, and honestly, it just sucks overall. But you know what? Things can always change. You never know. Sadly, do I believe it's going into the direction of clout and everything like that? Yes. But there's always a chance it could go back to the OG days, and, you know, it could bring back creativity. We could see a lot of cool builds, effort, time, energy, and all that stuff. But you never know. You truly never know nowadays. I do want to know what you guys think. Do you guys think the car scene's dying? Do you think it's changing for the worse, the better? You know, let me know your guys' opinions personally. I'm always up to debate, or at least hear somebody else's ideas or bounce ideas off one another. But with that being said, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I know it's a bit something different I've been trying here lately. I got some really good videos coming up though. We got a 4x4 Jeep build coming, and then also the rowdiest truck vent. I'm going to that officially next week, and then with that 4x4 build that I just talked about, we are actually, hopefully, fingers crossed, everything's working out so far for now. We're going to go take that to an off-road course, and I cannot wait to start filming that as well. It's literally back to back. But yeah, anyway, guys, enough of me yapping. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys have any questions, comments, or anything like that, let me know down in the comments. I'll be more than gladly to help, and I'll see you guys in the next video.